For the longest time, I believed I had the kind of relationship people envied. 2 years into it, I thought I knew her deeply, truly, fully. Her quirks, her insecurities, the way she curled up when she was sad, the way her voice softened when she said, "I love you." We laughed together, planned future trips, even talked about getting a dog, a golden retriever named Mango. It felt real. No, it was real, at least for me. We met at a mutual friend's dinner party. She was wearing a dark green dress and had this confident way of laughing that made everyone stop and look. I remember thinking, if I can make her laugh like that, I'll be the luckiest man alive. And somehow I did. That night, we ended up walking together for hours, sharing childhood stories and stupid dreams. She kissed me first, bold, like everything else about her. Our first year together was bliss. Weekend hikes, late-night movies, surprise texts during work days that made me smile like an idiot. She supported my career, and I supported hers. She met my mom, and my mom loved her, which wasn't easy to achieve. I thought we were aligned in every possible way. And maybe that's why the truth hit so hard. Looking back now, there were signs. Not obvious ones. She didn't go missing for hours or act overly secretive. But she'd laugh at texts she wouldn't show me, or suddenly get moody after calls with friends I never met. She once canceled our anniversary dinner because she had a work emergency. That night, I brought her flowers anyway, left them at her door like some hopeless romantic. She didn't come home until after midnight. I convinced myself that was normal. I found out the truth in the most unexpected way, not through a dramatic confession or a caught-in-the-act moment. It was an accident, a notification on her laptop, which she left open one morning before rushing out. I wasn't snooping. I swear I wasn't. But the message popped up on WhatsApp, and my eyes just saw it. It said, "Last night was perfect. I wish I didn't have to sneak around anymore." I froze. I sat there, staring at the screen, rereading that one sentence like it would somehow change meaning the fourth or fifth time. My stomach knotted. My ears started ringing. A part of me still hoped it was an old message, a joke, maybe even meant for me, but miswritten. I clicked the message thread. And just like that, everything shattered. They had been messaging for over a year and a half. Intimate photos, plans to meet, hotel bookings, even arguments, just like a real couple. Except I was the fool sitting at home, waiting for her to come back from girl nights and work trips. It wasn't just sex. It was emotional, deep. They talked about their future too. I didn't confront her right away. I couldn't. I sat in our apartment for hours, numb. Every object around me, the couch, the coffee mugs, the Polaroids on the fridge, mocked me. I was living inside a lie, and I had thanked her for it. Worse, I loved her in it. When she came home that evening, I acted normal. Made dinner. Asked about her day. I studied her face like it was the first time I'd seen it. How'd I missed it? The guilt? The duality? But she was effortless. Smiling, affectionate. She even said she missed me. And when she said, "I love you," I said it back, knowing I'd just read her telling someone else. He doesn't suspect a thing. That night, I cried silently in the shower. Cliché, I know. But where else was I supposed to go? I didn't want to believe it yet. Part of me still needed it to be a mistake. Maybe I misunderstood. Maybe I was overreacting. Maybe I deserved it somehow. But deep down, I already knew. The person I loved didn't exist. Or maybe she did, but only in my version of the story. In hers, I was a placeholder, a convenience. The next morning, I woke up before her. I just stared at the ceiling, the kind of stare where your eyes are open, but your mind is somewhere else. She turned in her sleep, murmured my name, and reached for me. I flinched barely, but it was enough. She opened her eyes. "You okay?" she asked, her voice heavy with sleep. I nodded. Lied. Just didn't sleep well. She wrapped her arm around me and nuzzled her head into my chest. The intimacy was unbearable. I felt like I was holding a stranger, someone who had built a whole other life while lying in my bed every night. By noon, I knew I couldn't hold it in any longer. I didn't want to do it in public, didn't want to make a scene. So I waited until we were back in the apartment after lunch. She was scrolling on her phone when I said it. "I saw your messages." She froze. Just for a second. Then she turned her head slowly, like she didn't quite hear me. "What messages?" I was calm, too calm. "On your laptop. Yesterday. WhatsApp." You didn't log out. Silence. That awful, heavy silence where time stretches into something thick and painful. She opened her mouth, then closed it again. And then, instead of denying it, she said something worse. How much did you see? That told me everything. I felt the air leave my lungs. My hands were trembling, and I tried to stop them by digging my nails into my palms. Long enough to know it wasn't a mistake, that it wasn't just once. She sat down on the couch and covered her face with her hands. I didn't want it to happen this way, she said, muffled. This way, I echoed. You mean me finding out at all? She looked up. No, I mean like this. I didn't mean to hurt you. It got out of hand. I laughed. A sharp, bitter sound that didn't feel like it came from me. Got out of hand? You've been living a double life for 18 months. That's not a slip. That's a plan. Then the excuses started. It started when we were fighting all the time. I felt alone. He listened. He was there. And then I didn't know how to end it. You could have told me, I said, my voice rising. You could have left. You could have done anything but lie to me every single day. She cried. I didn't. She tried to paint it as something that just spiraled, that she never stopped loving me, that she hated herself every time. But none of it mattered anymore. The damage wasn't just in the act. It was in every moment afterward when she looked me in the eye and said, I love you, with someone else's touch still on her skin. I asked questions I never thought I would. How many times? Did you love him? Was I not enough? Some she answered. Some she didn't. The worst was when I asked if she ever thought about telling me the truth. She hesitated. Then she said, I thought about it, but I didn't want to lose you. That broke something in me, because she already had. And I think, deep down, she knew it too. The days that followed were a blur. I stayed with a friend. I didn't eat much. My phone buzzed constantly. Her messages, missed calls, voice notes. Some begging, some angry. She even accused me of invading her privacy. That part made me laugh again, bitter and hollow. I didn't answer. I couldn't. I knew that if I let her talk, she might pull me back in. That's the thing about people who betray you. Sometimes you still love them. And that's the cruelest part. One night, she sent me a long message. Almost 1,000 words. She admitted to everything. Said she hated herself, that she never loved him the way she loved me, that it started during a period when she thought I was pulling away. She begged for a second chance, so we could go to therapy. Said she'd change. Promised she'd never lie again. But trust, once broken like that, doesn't heal with apologies. It doesn't return with tears. It stays shattered, even if both of you try to pick up the pieces. My friends all told me to block her. Some said, once a cheater, always a cheater. Others said I should hear her out. But no one really knew what I felt. How could they? I was mourning someone who was still alive, still texting me, still calling me by the nickname she gave me when we first started dating. But she wasn't my person anymore. She never really was. The first few weeks after I left felt like a detox. I deleted our photos one by one. Some I kept in a hidden folder, not out of weakness, but because they were part of my life, even if the person in them wasn't who I thought she was. I threw away the mugs we bought together on that trip to Prague. I changed the sheets. I even changed my shampoo, just to remove the scent of what we used to share. And still, she haunted everything. There were songs I couldn't listen to, shows I had to stop watching, restaurants I avoided. Memories are sticky like that. They embed themselves in the most mundane details. I hated how much space she still took up in my head. But grief doesn't ask for permission. It moves in and makes itself at home. She reached out once more, in person. I was coming out of a grocery store, arms full of things I didn't really need, when I saw her standing by my car. Her eyes were swollen, her hair pulled back like she hadn't slept in days. For a split second, my heart jumped, not out of love, but reflex. She said she missed me, that she didn't know who she was without me, that we were supposed to be forever. I told her something I hadn't said before. You killed the future we planned. And I meant it, not out of spite, just truth. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I didn't let her hug me when she reached out. I just asked her, quietly, to leave. She did. That was the last time I saw her. Healing didn't come all at once. Some days were fine. Some weren't. Sometimes I laughed with friends and forgot all about it. Other times, I'd see a couple holding hands and feel an ache in my chest so sharp I had to look away. But pain is a strange teacher. It shows you not just what went wrong, but what you ignored, what you accepted, and what you deserve better than. I started journaling. It felt stupid at first, scribbling down thoughts like a teenager. But helped. Helped me see patterns. Helped me understand where I lost myself in that relationship. Because that was the hardest truth of all. I had allowed so much. I gave and gave, thinking that love meant endurance. That compromise was noble. That patience would be rewarded. But real love doesn't ask you to betray yourself. It doesn't survive by hiding truths. Eventually, I started dating again. Carefully, with walls up, but different, wiser. I knew what to ask now, what to look for, what I wouldn't tolerate. There was no dramatic new romance, no rebound, just small moments of connection that felt safe, real, honest. And somewhere in that quiet space, I forgave her. Not for her sake, but for mine. I didn't want to carry that bitterness anymore. I didn't want every future relationship to be a ghost of what she broke. Forgiveness, I realized, wasn't about her deserving it. It was about me choosing peace. So here I am, telling you this story, not as a victim, not as someone who got destroyed, but as someone who learned. Yes, I love someone who betrayed me. Yes, I stayed longer than I should have. Yes, I believed words that were lies. But I also walked away. I rebuilt. I remembered who I was before her. I like that person, maybe even more than I did before. If you've ever been betrayed, deeply, painfully, know this. It's not the end of your story. You get to write the next chapter, and it can be beautiful,